From Milwaukee, it's Movie Chatter.
Hi-oh. How you doing?
Hey.
We're back.
Doing all right.
Back to do another show.
We are back.
Talking about Infinity Pool.
All
Infinity
four.
Pool. You want to talk about if you were going to have a pool, that's the kind of pool you'd want. With
Right.
Where you swim to the edge and you've got that.
Everybody loves them.
I've never been in one.
I think they seem dangerous.
Yes,
Very
right.
dangerous.
Literally, that's what you'd want. Figuratively,
And
if
yet,
we're looking at this film,
I don't
it's
think-
not what you want.
There's no Infinity Pool in the movie except one that's like being worked on or something.
Right. It becomes part of a backstory for one of the main characters.
Right.
Yeah, I did see one. I
Yeah.
remember seeing,
Yep.
finally
there was
it
a
is.
plant.
Yeah, because I think somebody's
He
an
was
architect.
an architect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
architect.
But it's really a
Mia's
cool name.
husband.
It's a cool name for a movie.
Very cool.
It is, yeah. Is there a deeper
was-
meaning in it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
there is.
Right.
It's
Infinity
like-
Don. You can. Whoa.
Whoa.
okay. That was-
Testing.
We're
Testing.
back. We're back.
We're back.
It's obnoxiously obvious that it's a deeper meaning.
It's
Of course it
Infinity
is.
Don. Yeah. What
And
do we
it's
got?
a pool. It's
Well, explain it to the dumb people.
No, you can't because that's a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
okay. I won't explain
I
it.
think I got something maybe you could read here.
I found the deeper meaning of this movie delightfully entertaining.
So it's a crime, horror, mystery, sci-fi thriller. It just came out. It's by the director Brandon Cronenberg, also
Son of
son of David Cronenberg,
the Fly.
There you go.
The Fly, known for
And-
doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
We watched one of his movies while we were on vacation, you and I, Dave.
Possessor?
Possessor, where I thought...
Andrea Riseborough.
Riseborough.
She did not have her eyebrows in that movie either.
Yeah, there should go. Yeah. Boy, he really likes to take violence to an excess at some
I
point.
mean, that's a
I
family
remember-
tradition.
I remember
To
Brandon,
an entertainment value.
oh my gosh, though. I mean, you can only beat somebody into meat pulp for so long before it's like
You just take it that extra step.
it's like Seth MacFarlane on Family Guy,
Where you're like, okay, I got the
right,
joke.
where he always like
Took it that one step too far.
You know, it's like the rule of 3 for comedy, except he goes for like 6.
4, 5, or
just keeps
7.
going. Yeah, that's just what he does with violence. It's like enough.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Well, I think that's a good summation of this movie is that it's a little much.
It's a
It's a little much. But if you're in the mood for like sensational,
Naughtiness.
sure.
Well, it is
Sci-fi,
absolutely
thriller,
salacious and
Splashy horror.
titillating.
Yes, there you go. That's
I was
a
not
perfect
expect.
word.
Yeah, we kind
I
of.
had no idea what I was signed up for.
I did not either. I
Which-
did not either.
I didn't
which
Dave,
either.
maybe made it more fun.
Dave bought the tickets. We it was a.
It was a very last minute, like, all right.
I saw things in
We'll
this
go.
movie
Chatter.
that
Field trip.
you might not see on a porn site.
Right. I mean, I
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit.
I
Right.
like
You could-
Mia Goth. So I'm in love with Pearl, which
Yeah.
I think is
Sure.
one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Which,
Yes.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
she was phenomenal in this movie.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, wait till you see Pearl. I mean,
I'm
the thing
afraid
is, I
that
went
she
to
has
see.
a little bit pigeonholed herself.
A little bit.
She is the new Scream Queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? She's the new Jamie Lee Curtis.
We were hoping for more, though. I think.
Yeah,
I
a
think Dave,
modern Jamie Lee-
you after Pearl, you were hoping maybe she would jump to something
Well,
more serious.
I have to say that Pearl
And
But
less
Dave
horror.
loves horror,
It's
so
like
he's
the
like,
peak.
all
Okay.
right, I just still
right.
love you.
Yeah, Dave could care less if she ever does anything that doesn't involve blood.
He's like, continue doing titillating horror.
I don't think she's
She
Jamie
is-
Lee Curtis because she's like the final girl, the heroine. In this,
yeah,
she's
not.
she's the murderer. You know,
Well-
she's the bad person.
Not
She's-
really.
She's like the.
Let's-
I would say there's probably another actress that would.
There's a little more nuance to it than that. I won't call her the bad girl.
But I do get your point, though.
Yeah,
is
it's-
that
she's
she,
not Jamie Lee Curtis.
right? She's
for
not.
Sure.
She's not the
I
heroine.
think Bill was talking about Pearl being the bad girl.
Oh,
Right,
well,
and then
obviously
Jamie Lee Curtis
she's the bad girl in Pearl.
being, more of a heroine.
Well, in Infinity
you know,
Pool, she's a naughty girl too.
Well, I
right,
think
she's naughty.
I think
Naughty.
she's just a rich girl that just saw Skarsgård and was
Who
like,
doesn't respect consequences.
she just wants somebody to party with, and she knew,
Okay.
You're coming in the movie from his view, and he doesn't know
Yeah.
what's happening. She does already, so she just wants
She
another cool guy to
played
party
him.
with.
True, right. As being sort of a bored, life of luxury person.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this is the 10th time I've done this trip. Now I need another, summer fling.
This
fun
movie is
person.
like, filthy rich excess.
Yeah.
But you take that to the next level. It's filthy excess, but then you mix in like violence and
Really? Yeah.
I mean,
Just like stuff like I don't think I would be into, what they were into. But I guess
but if you were in a situation
Yeah.
where you literally would never consider consequences
Yeah.
ever again.
would it pervert your way of thinking to the point where
To
this
me-
became fun?
This had a Clockwork Orange
Yes.
feel to it.
A little
Okay.
bit disturbing at
Okay.
moments.
In
Okay,
terms
right.
of in that movie, you had a gang that would just go into somebody's house
Yeah.
and like beat up the old
Unthinkable
lady
things.
and have sex with the old lady. Or,
Right, right.
Yeah.
just didn't have any regard for human life.
Well, I have to say, this
That's a good
movie,
point.
if I were to been in their situation, I probably would have picked different excesses to go down.
Right.
You know,
I agree. I think you had
Yeah.
to have a little bit of that spark in you already
Yeah.
to like go that direction.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, I would go another way myself.
Right.
But I agree. I mean, Clockwork Orange is far more disturbing. This was definitely disturbing at moments, but it was so ridiculous that it made it like more fun somehow. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I see where you're going.
I mean, you have to just like step back from it, because if you took it literally, it would be just depressing and horrifying. But they somehow made like this graphic, horrifying situations a little bit fun, a little bit entertaining.
All right, I'll
like,
talk
as
about the
messed up as that
synopsis.
is.
And a little bit
James and
cerebral.
M. Foster
Yes.
are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of Latolka when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse and subculture of hedonism, tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horror.
Now, do you know that we saw the toned down version?
No.
The one that actually went to Sundance
Yeah.
was
Like
NC-17.
triple X.
NC-17. Was there
Oh,
only
boy.
that one scene that we're talking about? That
Right.
was
There
that,
is a Mia Goth where she surprises somebody, and that
Oh.
one actually
Tuggy,
in the
tuggy.
in that movie.
You're welcome,
is
YouTube
YouTube.
viewers.
They zoomed-
Yeah, they saw
zoomed,
that.
They zoomed in on a rubber.
Oh, like it was very
Prosthesis.
graphic.
prosthetic.
Right. Yeah. There was actually
Prosthetic.
She was
Wiener.
performing some help.
right, but they actually filmed that. So
Okay.
I don't know. NC-17. They went a little farther.
So it just goes to the
And I
fact
think-
that this
I think
director just wants it to be
Wanted to go
extreme.
pow.
He was like, I have no limits.
There was more
We're
bludgeoning
showing
going
we're
on
showing
in the other one.
hedonism to the
There
to the
was
nth.
no limits there, and maybe that was like what really made
Yeah.
me disconnect from it, because
Yeah.
there was one thing after another, and then you got to a point where it was like, well, okay, I mean, all bets are fucking off the
Yeah,
table.
right.
Like, I guess we're just gonna do this now.
Exactly, and that was the scene you're talking about, Dave, is really the breakthrough into like,
Okay,
what's going on here?
I have
You
to-
know?
rules are gonna be broken.
Rules are going to
Okay.
be broken here.
It was.
I was
great.
just going pee pee.
I mean-
and all of a sudden,
How do you? I mean, that's
It was like stealth too.
right?
it was spectacular. Have you ever seen a?
Oh, it was spectacular. Dave,
calm
every time
movie.
Dave pees, he's wishing that this would happen.
He's looking behind him. I'm
Every man's
Brain-
dream.
Unfortunately, it's at work where there's just a bunch of
Dudes,
burly men
yeah.
walking around
Mia
behind
Goth
him.
is not around.
No, it's not. It's not there.
Oh, hilarious. But okay,
Yeah.
let's back up for a second.
Okay.
Besides the sensational ridiculousness, it was actually pretty beautiful
Yeah.
where it was shot. I don't know where
Yeah.
offhand, but they had
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
Croatia.
Okay.
A lot of Croatia.
and I mean, we were all speculating, but it was very like rocky and a lot
Yeah.
of, forest, and it was kind of ambiguous. I mean, on
Yeah.
purpose where it was supposed to be. They almost made it feel like it was a Pacific island, but then
Right, but
there was these mountains.
It definitely was. It was beach. It had obviously coast and beach, but it was also very mountainous and
and then
non,
the third world country
right,
aspect.
third world country, big time. Right, they kept talking about how don't leave. That was a big point of the movie was this is a third world country and you shouldn't leave the resort because
Which is-
bad things.
Have
could
you been
happen.
to a resort where they've said that?
No.
I mean, like, have you
yeah.
gone to
Not
Mexico
personally,
or
but that's,
something?
When I was in
very,
Guatemala,
yeah, I was going to say,
very
not uncommon.
The city that I
mainstream.
was at was literally walled off.
Okay.
And outside the walls are all these people with machine guns.
Okay.
You were in a place like that?
Guatemala, yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Cool.
We're all mesmerized. But that's like the perfect setup to fucking hundreds of plots where you're like, this is
Yeah.
this magical white infinity pool resort.
right.
And then there's these giant walls with barbed wire
Yeah.
on top of them.
it's a
And
different world outside
Yeah.
of these. And of course, they had to get to the other side
and
of
they're like,
those
oh, we've
walls.
been here before. It's fine. We'll just like rent this
Yeah.
convertible and
Yeah.
go.
That El Dorado.
Love
was
that.
Cool.
Bad
it?
idea. I
Late
mean,
70s
obviously.
El Dorado, right?
To
Convertible.
anyone who was thinking, it'd
Big
be like,
front-wheel drive Cadillac.
beautiful.
He didn't
But-
know what was going on. I mean, they knew. Mia Goth knew at
It
that
was a
point.
setup.
Yeah.
Didn't you know that it was a setup? I mean, did
didn't.
everyone know?
I did not know. it was a
Well,
setup.
Oh, I thought
you
for
know,
sure.
But
I thought
you
it
know-
was going to be a little bit more purposeful of a setup, actually.
what about the fact that, like, what happened on that first trip that really kind of started the whole
Yeah,
thing
I
going
was like,
on?
what the fuck are you doing
What-
out there?
But was that? I mean, what had that? I guess it was like a car breakdown of the. Let's just say the lights on the car go out, and what?
Right.
What if that didn't happen?
What is it?
Would they have just figured out a different way to kind of get him into this
Yes.
world?
Yes.
Yes, in
Okay.
fact, they
She
mentioned
almost
that.
says that.
She-
Yeah.
They
Oh,
mentioned it in
I
there.
forgot.
She
They
does.
said-
She was like, we were going to figure out a way to get you into trouble, but you just went and did it yourself and made
You're
it easy
right.
for us.
Yeah.
You're right. I do remember that now.
Yeah, so it was like
Okay.
happenstance, but
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So Skarsgård's
Skarsgård. We love
hard to say.
Alexander Skarsgård.
I
He's
know.
got
I love
great
his IMDb
abs.
picture.
The Northman.
his
The
wife
Northman.
is supposed to be rich
Admire
in
his
this movie.
quads.
Cleopatra Coleman playing Elm Foster, and he goes to this place because he's a writer. He's got writer
Looking
block.
for inspiration.
I
Oh,
thought
really? I
by
didn't
the end
remember
of the
that.
movie we would see him typing.
I
was
agree a
a
little bit.
story.
Yeah.
You would hope. You would have hoped so.
Because he went through all these weird experiences.
There was almost like a little bit of a miss at the end that would have been kind of
I would have
Yeah,
liked.
I want to see him in a
Brilliant.
typewriter.
right.
Because his wife left and he stayed. He pretended like the passport.
Yes.
I lost my passport. And we
Yes.
find out he actually hid it.
right.
And
And he talked about
stays.
that. He talked about that in the beginning about how he was uninspired and how he didn't have any inspiration for writing and that could have exactly
Well-
it seemed like he was kind of all in on this adventure because
he
okay,
was desperate.
this is something to like juice up my life and maybe give me something
He was
to think
looking
about.
for that. He was looking for an adventure, and boy, did he find one.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a scene where it's like, I don't know if they're taking drugs or whatever, but they're in
They are.
a living room.
Always.
And so now
There's
you
a lot
got
of
Brandon
drugs.
Cronenberg goes,
It's a lot of
great.
hallucinogens.
I can show all these weird things. Like there was, I can't even say it online, but through a woman's breast weird shit was going on.
Oh yeah.
I think a penis came out of her nipple.
No, that was like
No.
chocolate frosting coming out of
Yeah.
her nipple.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like
There was a lot of bizarre
weird
shit
shit
that happened.
He's going, Daddy, I can outdo you.
But I enjoy that because like I'm not a drug kind of person, so like someone is trying to represent what some type of drug trip like
Yeah,
Midsommar did
I
that.
get
you
a
know,
kick
with
out of
the-
that.
Yeah.
You know, like the little things popping out of
They did a
everything.
nice job, all right.
They did.
It was
What
was
kind of drug
trippy.
were they on, Don?
Some sort of hallucinogen.
Yeah, I mean, it
I'm
was
pretty sure.
A mushroom?
Some psilocybins.
Yeah, psilocybins,
right.
which in microdoses are actually helpful to
Right.
the psyche.
Let's go have a
Oh,
microdose.
yeah.
Everybody have a
That's what
microdose.
That's what they
Microdose,
tell.
microdose.
Someday.
That's another
Yeah.
podcast.
Right. Oh my gosh, that'd be entertaining.
Holy mackerel! It was pretty crazy. I mean, the real when you get the talk about twists, you know, when you first get slapped in the face by what's going on in this movie, it's like,
I felt like they
are you
weren't.
kidding me?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think they were like purposefully hiding the twist because I thought immediately on that first like, okay, if we're not trying to spoil at this moment, but you would read a little bit of this in any
I think
like
only
initial
the only ones that are listening to this have seen the shit movie, I think.
at this point.
I think so. I think so.
potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, only grossed 4 million, so not a lot of people have seen this. You can only see it at the theaters.
It's only us.
Um,
And we only paid $5 a piece.
I love the IMDb. You know how
Dave did.
they tell you if there's smoking and stuff like that.
Sure.
All right. Sex and
Sexual
nudity,
content,
severe.
drugs.
Violence and gore, severe.
Yep.
Profanity, moderate.
They didn't shy away
Alcohol,
from anything.
smoking, severe. Frightening, intense, scenes,
Severe.
Severe.
See, okay, so all of those things were severe, and at a certain point, you get a little bit numb to it. I mean, this was almost like a. If we would have been in the basement, we might have been shouting or something. I don't know.
Oh,
It was.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
We probably would have.
It was a rowdy movie to me. I was not like
it did lend itself to that.
you could not take it seriously.
How would it have
There
been
was-
if you would have watched it by yourself?
You know, I wouldn't have.
Thank
wouldn't
you.
have.
I was about to say the same thing. I would have been like, "This is fucking ridiculous."
It's too weird.
Yeah.
But together, it was kind of fun.
We were like,
Okay.
"Oh my
Right.
gosh, what are we doing here?" I mean,
Well,
this is kind of entertaining.
Right. We were in a theater, so we couldn't, you
Yeah.
couldn't really just
You're not
leave.
gonna leave on your
I'm going to the
paid
bathroom.
ticket.
I'm going to the kitchen.
I mean, Don and I did leave one movie. Remember that?
yes,
Full
we
Which
did.
Price?
one? Which
We
one?
It was
did.
called
It was.
That's saying
a
something.
part 2.
It was.
God, let's think about it. Let's have a pause here.
So
it was
you actually
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
Oh boy.
And
Was that like a cowboy movie?
No, it was
no, it was. Analyze this.
Oh,
my
Analyze
analyze
that.
that.
Analyze that.
okay, so which one is the first one?
Analyze this.
Yeah, so Analyze That was so bad that Don and I walked out
Yeah.
halfway
of a
through. We're
theater.
like, this is
Never
garbage.
mind. This is a waste of my
Just
life.
Throw the popcorn down. We're out of here.
Right.
That's pretty bad. That's
the
pretty
only-
bad.
And this, was definitely not that.
No.
This movie was interesting. I'm
It
really
was
glad I saw it.
outrageous.
I mean, it was so
Dave, tell us about
it was
Maya
so-
Goth.
I mean,
weird.
Mia,
It was
okay.
cool.
Mia,
So
sorry.
The entire reason I went to see this movie is Mia Goth. So
She's captivating.
I'm invested in her with X and Pearl and a couple other movies that she's been in already. And I just want to see everything she does.
You
So
want to watch the trajectory. You want to
Right,
watch
so-
the progression
so
of her career.
Pearl was the last one I saw, which was completely her movie, obviously. And I said,
Yes.
She's a star.
oh, Infinity Pool. She's in this.
Yeah.
Is she going to take over the whole movie? Which it wasn't her movie. It was she shared it.
Yeah, I remember afterwards
Sure.
you said that it wasn't her movie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why.
Yeah, keep going. What else?
And so that was the whole thing to get you to go. We're going to see Infinity Pool. It's crazy. I didn't know anything about it. But
Actually, I mean, I saw the trailer before we went, and that's it. That was the extent of my research. But I was like, "Oh, this could be like disturbing. Like this could actually scare me. You know what I mean? Like where
I was
you
hoping for that.
I know, like you see these trailers and I'm like, oh man, fuck, this might be a horror movie that like I'm gonna have dreams about. You know what I mean? Like I was like, ooh, this could be bad, but good. You know, good, bad. But it was not that at all. It was too sensational. Like,
Yeah, it was too
Right.
much.
It was very sensational.
my dreams would be comical about this movie because it was so insane.
They went too far. You know, when you have
You could not take it seriously.
you have to back off.
I mean, we're
a little
not
bit.
telling the
was
audience
not believable.
There's a lot of. We're not spoiling this movie.
At all.
And
No, we're really not.
Nobody knows what
there's-
the hell we're talking about.
There's some weird shit that's going on.
Could you describe the movie in general? I mean, should we take a pause here and say spoilers up ahead? We're not going to go crazy,
No.
but we do want to talk a little more in depth. We want to say a word. It starts with a C, and when we can talk about that, I
Right.
think that
So if you're willing to kind of know
Oh, I see what you're saying.
what
It's not a
that big
female
slap
thing,
in the
Bill.
face,
CL.
slap in the face is
CL is the
is
word.
that there is
And by the way, if anybody doesn't see this at the theater, the Blu-ray version is going to be the NC-17.
oh really
So there will be full rubber wieners.
Fruit
in it.
rubber.
Oh,
I
fun.
think that's interesting that
fun.
they went with the rubber wiener. I mean, you guess you have to go with the rubber wiener.
In this day and age, I know that's
Yeah.
my favorite scene, and now I feel like I know her because of that interview that I saw.
I think I need that poster.
What do you mean?
So-
what do you mean? What interview?
So that's the only other thing I saw about this movie, like in hindsight. But it was an interview with Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård, and they were asking him questions like, what is it like to do such a graphic horror movie? Like, does it bring the mood down? Like, do you feel, down or dirty, or like, does it kind of, what do you do after the scenes are over? And they were like, no, it really wasn't like that. It's the work and it's a story and you're doing this and that. And
Interesting.
her whole thing that really stood out to me in this interview was she was like, yeah, there's certain scenes that are easier than others. Like there's when you're on the hood of a car and then like he bursts out laughing and she's like, yeah, that was easy. She's
Oh,
like,
really?
when you're being, crazy, outlandish and on this hood of a car and you can
Yeah.
be like louder than life,
Okay.
that's easy. She's like,
Okay.
but the scenes where you have to give a look and you're like more
Yeah,
subtle and you
right.
have to
She's like
portray
right-
something. Yeah.
That
She's like
makes
right-
sense.
And then I saw that scene and I was like, oh my gosh.
that makes sense.
I love you.
She's like right out of the opening scene of Pulp Fiction.
Right?
Oh, you motherfuckers!
Okay.
Outlandish.
All right, right now we're looking at a picture of her holding a gun, going crazy.
That
Her-
needs to be
no
in the
eyebrows.
post of whenever we post this movie. This
Yeah.
is
Okay, but
I
she's,
sent several
she's
memes
blonde,
to you guys
so she can get
of
away
that
with that.
scene.
Brunettes have to have the eyebrows, but blondes they can make their eyebrows
know, they can
disappear.
Right. I
that
mean,
off.
I think her hair is naturally. That's natural.
Subtle.
Black.
Probably.
Yeah, she's a light brown.
All right, interesting. On Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah,
the
what is
critics
it?
gave it an 86.
Okay.
Okay, audience 51.
Okay, because
I'm
you
sure
ha-
it turned people away when
right
it crossed
I-
those lines.
I think like some of us, we were
Yeah.
surprised by what we saw. We are pretty veteran movie watchers, so we're not discouraged or turned off by weird shit.
It was interesting
So,
in that respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was one
whereas
of the
like
weird
you're
movies
more
that-
mainstream.
It's not
it
mainstream.
is not mainstream.
I would not watch this probably more than another time. When it's on HBO Max, I'll probably watch it.
There are some scenes that, like, if you were genuinely vested in the movie, yeah, it would be just like disturbing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was
It-
one thing after another that built up to it being so crazy and outlandish that you gave this shit a pass.
I mean, Bill, you said you won't watch The Fly anymore, right? His dad, Cronenberg. Like it's too gross.
Right,
But
right.
but I'll tell you, I do watch The Fly. It's on my orbit of movies that I watch a lot.
Do you skip the gross scenes?
I do. I watch like the first.
and then
3
you're like, I
quarters
know
of
what
the movie.
happens here.
I know it's gonna get gross, but the beginning of it is great.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Gina Davis, and
right, his wife at the time.
Yeah.
it's great.
I think Infinity Pool had a lot of weird shit that actually you know, gave it uniqueness
Yeah.
that the critics like. Okay, and Cronenberg can go, hey, see, I'm different. And imagine you're a director, you're trying to break in. You know, they're only giving you a couple million, 3 million or whatever to make a movie. You've got to just do some weird shit to make your name, right?
There you go.
It
And
was
you
a
gotta-
creative premise.
And you got a father
Right.
who did, you know, is upscaling.
I mean, it
you're in
could be
his
a
shadow.
It's going to be a cult classic if Mia
Yeah.
Goth.
I know
if
what you're
she
saying.
has a great
though.
career.
You gotta make your mark. You gotta
Yes.
you gotta do
Come
something.
in with a bang. It's
yeah,
a splash.
do something to make a splash and make yourself noticed, not just the regular.
I feel like
Right,
there was
right. I
a certain
think that's-
vision, and I think that he achieved it. I think it was.
I think Possessor was better though.
Did you? Huh.
Hmm.
That was Bizarro World. I don't know. I
I
think
mean, that was more sci-fi.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. Similar. I guess I like.
This was just rich people.
I like
on a
Maya
rampage.
Maya Goth and Alexander Skarsgård better than Andrea Riseborough.
Don't you dare! How dare you? I mean,
How dare you?
So a
But they
subplot,
couldn't-
a plot of this movie was that rich people could go to this island and do whatever they want.
Spoilers
Even
ahead.
suffer no
Spoilers ahead.
consequences.
Kill
I
people.
said that early.
they
Right.
could murder people, and what would happen would be they.
But did they not suffer consequences? It was like a little bit of an underlying theme there.
Well,
Was it? What do you
to
mean?
a certain
Like
extent, they created
psychological
a clone
consequences?
of you and then killed your clone while you watched, and that
Your
was your
double.
punishment.
It's such
well,
a
who cares
weird
if they're
premise.
killing a clone?
the main reason you want to watch this movie, spoilers ahead here, is that you want to know if Alexander Skarsgård is he the original?
Yeah.
By the end of the movie.
That's what I said. Like that
Yeah,
scene when it
that's-
happened, I was like, "That's him." But
Yeah.
it's deeper than that because when you clone someone, if we're talking about it now, reveal obviously, but you clone someone, you are a double. That is you.
Yeah.
That is you at that moment in time. So then from there, your experiences diverge, but at that moment, that is you.
Yeah, but they're killing his clone.
Right? But so are you a double or are you the original or are you not? You're neither.
Yeah, how do you know which
your
one-
experiences diverge at that
Yeah.
point.
How do you
Now
know
you've
which one they
seen
got?
yourself get murdered.
You're right. You don't know. There's
don't know.
there's one point at which they take Skarsgård, and to his credit, he is in a dog collar.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was definitely a
naked,
disturbing
crawling
scene.
on all fours, and he's treated like a dog.
And they're trying to get him to kill himself.
Right. He's
Right,
like,
right.
we
and
had to
so we
make
don't know
a-
if he
a
actually
version
killed
of
his
you.
real self or his clone. Was the dog the clone or not? That's why I thought if it ended where he's actually typing, because he had now overcome
It's a
writer's block, that would have told the
it's
audience,
a fucked up premise to explore.
I am the original, and I am still the writer. and
or
I'm
not.
doing
I'm
my
like
book.
number 3 in this story and I somehow
Yeah.
escaped the loop.
yeah.
Right.
For me,
you don't know. You don't.
There was
know.
a weird thing that was, it's like sort of a general clone topic, which is, obviously we spoiled that already, but like if you are cloned, I never thought that you came with memories.
It's
like
a new
how-
technology.
Right, so that was the leap for me was
Yeah,
like,
in Croatia,
why
they
does
can do that.
why does my clone, who is this new, like, I don't know,
But that's
amoeba,
they went
you know,
sci-fi with that. It was like,
Like-
you are a double. You're
mean,
a
just had to
copy
accept
of
that.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a definitely like swallow this.
If you
Okay.
walked in the door right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you had all your memories, and you walked in the door,
and saw you.
and we just shot you right through the forehead,
Nice.
you're still cool. You're still good. It's like having
you never knew.
the Blu-ray and the DVD. You got all the information there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But to me,
you're good.
that was the leap. Was like,
It was
Okay.
a leap, but it was a definitely stated leap in that every time you create a double,
They're-
it was you again.
they were like an equal of you. It
right.
was like a
So
literal
it
like.
didn't matter who the
The
original
brain
was.
has been uploaded with
Right.
all your stuff.
Uploaded.
You
That's
know,
perfect.
he's like ready to go.
Right.
You know, this either one,
And-
same difference.
And that was a minor subplot. I mean, the major subplot is that these rich people could just do whatever they want, and if they have enough money,
right.
they get away with
Boom.
it because the
Go
clone,
to the ATM.
Well-
get
Yeah.
stabbed in the stomach.
Imagine if you could do that. Like just
And like, let's just back up to this.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
I mean, obviously we're into full spoilers here, but this third world country that has somehow like perfected cloning, where you
right.
just jump into a wax pool and
Right,
like
right.
a perfect copy of
and
your
you're only going to use it for this
45-year-old
purpose.
self just like pops out. Yeah, only to murder people who have
You would not
had
use
some
it
infraction in your
For any
culture.
benefit other than in
Right.
the prisoner
who's
system.
who's
You
the,
could get a lot more money for
who's the
I mean,
actor
other
that
reasons.
that just shot somebody in a movie by accident?
Oh,
Uh,
Alec Baldwin.
Alec
Okay,
Baldwin.
so-
He's getting charged with manslaughter.
The movie
he could
Rust.
afford a clone.
Yeah.
And they would
Just
just
clone
they
yourself.
would
Put him
hang
in jail.
on TV,
Yeah,
and he'd still
Right.
be fine.
there you
That's
go.
basically.
That's right. That would be.
I do feel
Yeah.
bad about that, honestly.
I do too. I mean,
For
I don't know.
him, or
I do. He feels bad about that. He was broken. Like his wife was afraid he was going to be suicidal after that. But I just, it is not his fault. He did pull the trigger, but let's just be clear here. There was a person that handed him the gun and called out that it had been checked.
I mean,
Oh,
think
for
about
sure.
Any actor in the entire world who'd
Think
been
about-
handed a prop gun, like,
They-
why
they
would
don't,
you
like,
think
open the
anything
thing
else?
up and
and
look
you
in
wouldn't even
there.
know what you were looking for.
Right, right.
Think
He's
about
not a-
Keanu Reeves in
Oh my
any
gosh.
John Wick.
oh my
my
gosh.
God.
He's shooting people point blank range. If anything goes wrong,
If somebody slips a
It's
real
fucked.
bullet in there,
Yeah.
there's bad
I mean,
shit
it
that's
is
going to happen.
fucked up and it's terrible what happened. But like, oh, there are certain people that
Yeah.
are responsible in that situation. Alec is not one of them.
Whoever put the bullet in the gun.
And who was responsible for,
Yeah.
I mean, just saying.
yeah.
He feels terrible. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's awful.
All right. So
Anyway,
are you going to tell
diverge.
people to go see Infinity Pool at the theater?
If you
Okay.
want to see a ridiculous,
Yeah,
graphic,
I'm kind of-
sexual horror movie,
I'm kind of excited
Yeah.
to go around the room here and say who
Who wants to
would
recommend?
Let's start with Don. I want to be last.
Okay.
I
All
want to
right.
be last.
Well, I wasn't expecting a hallucinogenic orgy
Okay.
when I went to this $5 movie, but I got it and I enjoyed it. I said, you know what? This is different. And if you're up for something crazy,
Is Mia Goth jerking him off? Is that what you said to yourself?
yeah,
And
exactly. Am I really seeing this?
that's what at that moment I went.
All right.
Is this a movie that?
All right.
maybe it doesn't.
What has Dave got
maybe
me
it
into?
doesn't-
That's what I said.
And it wouldn't have be. I mean, it did not need to be NC-17 in that moment.
No.
I knew what she was doing.
Right.
I didn't need to see a rubber wiener.
That
would have been too far.
Yeah, I like the fact that they pulled that back a little bit. That was
mean,
plenty. That
was
plenty.
plenty. You
I
saw,
got it.
You
I
saw
thought-
him. I mean, like in
you
the
know.
rocks and like the
Right. I mean,
jizz.
that was
mean,
that
there was graphic enough.
overly graphic right there.
That's what Cronenbergs do. They want.
They do.
They want to.
They
wanna
want the
shock
rubber
you
wiener.
with the
Or they
eyeballs.
want to see somebody smashed in the face till their brains come out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
And-
And then like a few more times.
Right.
Like
Exa-
just for good measure.
Exactly.
so
to the point.
anything
of,
they do, if it's going to be sexual,
Yep.
they want. What can we do?
They did. They do.
What's the most graphic thing we
Oh,
could
there was
show?
all kinds of stuff. And there was
There
like,
was.
I mean,
There was.
there
an
was
old-
all kinds of stuff that happened
There
in
was
that
an
orgy.
old man.
Maybe
There
I need to
was
watch it again.
People crossed
There was an old man who was
teams and
naked
yeah.
in front of a fireplace.
Really?
And I thought he had a bit of an innie. The wiener, it almost seemed
Oh,
like it
that
was a weird.
too. That was.
It was a weird. I don't know. I've told my family about
forgot
this.
about this part, and you were
And
like, "What's with this
I
weird?"
said that
Hermaphrodite?
is not a.
No.
That is. It's not right. It
I
should
get-
stick out a little bit more.
I know.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't know what I'm looking
when
at.
you're old,
Yeah, if maybe he was aroused, it would have like popped out.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
good for you, fella.
Talk
Putting
about
that on film forever.
Right? It's okay. It could have been a prosthetic. We don't know.
We don't know, but
Good for you, sir. But that was another sensational scene where you had like just a normal, threesome happening.
right.
But then there's like invaders and people getting shot. Like, I mean, every scene in this movie is
Yeah.
like, oh wow, this is pretty intense. And then it's like, whoa,
right,
okay,
just takes you to that over the top.
let's go
limit.
even further.
Yeah. So I would say if you like that kind of thing, then I would recommend it.
It's a
but
qualified.
It's
But
definitely
would you
not,
recommend it? Would you recommend this
I would
to
say
somebody?
I do not recommend this for the average
Any
audience.
for a normal viewer.
Okay,
For
let's
normal-
Ditto.
If you enjoy crazy shit,
recommend it to your sisters, Don.
don't see this.
No.
Do not
Hard
see it.
no.
Don't see this.
Hard
Okay.
no. Hard
I
no.
drank an extra shot after I knew what I was getting into. I was
Recommend
like, all
it
right,
to your
well,
friends.
No,
Okay.
no, I wouldn't.
No.
They're
No.
not into that avant-garde salaciousness.
you don't
I'm gonna have a
get
question.
anything out of
What's
it.
your friend that comes over all the time?
Well, I got a couple of them.
He's always at the football games. Older fella.
Bruce.
Bruce, maybe. No.
I think this would be a little over the top for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly,
I
your
would
sister.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if we were like,
She wants to find something on TV, and you're going through Netflix a year from now.
Infinity
Infinity
Pool
Pool.
comes up. You're like, oh my gosh, I saw this.
and it's
yeah,
Tuesday.
it would depend
with
on the movie.
the
And if
podcast.
no,
How
it
much
wouldn't be
alcohol?
a Tuesday because we would have to be like a little bit liquored up for me
Right,
to be
you're
like,
like-
let's see this. It's ridiculous.
Let's
Yeah.
get away from the rest of the family.
It's definitely a qualified recommend.
Okay.
What about you
I would
for recommend for people at work? At our work, which is a
I
bunch
would not
of
recommend this
No,
to
because
anybody.
if you recommended it to someone, then they would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I would only
You're right,
recommend this
right.
to a Mia Goth fan like myself that
If
like
you will forgive her for anything,
Tom Cruise, he's right there looking at me. I will see anything that he makes. So Mia Goth made this movie. She's my newest person that I will
watch
see.
anything.
Yeah,
Anything
I hear
she
you.
makes,
I hear you.
I'm gonna make. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch.
okay,
Yeah, I hear
Die
you.
Hard fan.
Diehard fan, but anybody else, do not watch Infinity Pool.
No,
It's not that good. I mean,
it's not. And even like, had you not seen the whole movie, even if I
not-
was like, "Hey, see this scene? It's ridiculous," someone else just jumping in and seeing a portion of this movie would be like,
What the hell am I?
Oh my
it's not
God, that's
like
fucking
sexually
terrible.
charged where you're gonna be like, oh, it's so good.
"No,
Would you
none of
say-
it."
not
If you
hot.
saw a snippet
This
of
is
any
hot.
bit of this movie, you'd be like, "Fuck,
Okay.
what did you just
I
do
put
to me?"
this
Not
in the
hot.
same
I'm gonna have bad
category
dreams.
as Mandy.
Oh.
It's a horror movie.
Mandy's
that's just
more
bizarre.
fun. Mandy's more fun.
Mandy's better.
I
Mandy's absolutely better.
I'm with
but,
you on that, Bill.
but it's still very bizarre.
Bizarro.
Bizarro.
Bizarre horror.
Actually, our sisters, they all saw Possessor. Remember? So,
Yeah.
What?
So
Right.
we were all in Virginia.
What?
We watched Possessor.
Are you
We
shitting
did.
me?
Paulette wanted to see it, and
Did.
so
It's a lot of
okay,
silence.
if you like
There's a lot
Possessor,
of silence.
if you like
We're
Possessor,
watching.
you might like this movie. That's
Wow.
my recommendation.
I think that
all
they
right.
would have raised their eyebrows and
That's a
maybe
wrap.
not made it through this.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, it's a rare not recommend for me.
For a
I'm glad
horror
I
movie.
saw it.
I was gonna say it was fun
Yeah.
for the circumstances that we were in
It's
because none of
weird.
us were gonna walk out, and it was just like, well, okay, I guess we're gonna see the rest of this
Yeah.
But we had-
ridiculous fucking movie.
I mean, we
If
were
you
we had
see
popcorn.
everything, then maybe see it.
I mean, we're
Right.
drinking and watching a movie and throwing popcorn. So
we
Right.
were,
Yeah.
yeah. There was very few people in the theater. It was the smallest theater.
The popcorn was very good.
Yeah.
very good.
Delicious.
But if I'm just at home, like,
No, I would
On
have
a-
never seen
on a
this movie by
Thursday
myself
night.
ever.
And would you like to watch a new movie that just?
Oh my gosh.
I
No.
told her about. I
Nope.
described this to her, and she was like, "Stop! Stop talking.
I bet
Stop.
that's like my favorite thing about seeing movies is like my 2-minute synopsis to Dan.
Right.
Like then that's like the test because then
Yes.
it's like, do you even keep listening to me when I'm like after minute 1?
This
He's
is
or like
immediately looking at football scores.
Yeah. That does not
Right?
sound good. That
yeah.
does not sound
And
good.
Anne was like, nope.
No. Like, stop it. That sounds awful.
Right.
But if it is on Netflix, if it's streaming,
I'll probably watch it.
I'd
click
watch
on
it
for a
again.
little bit.
I
probably
might
watch
watch it again. I swear to God.
I will. I mean, if it's an NC-17 version,
Which is scary to me.
I'm gonna want to see the extra features.
The first half an hour before it gets like totally nutso is kind of decent.
Well, and it's
Semi-normal.
it's a creative premise. I
Yeah.
do respect that.
Yes. Yes. Watch it till the first cloning.
I don't know.
Then
I'd say
it seems
watch
like
it all
just
the
a
way,
normal horror movie, and
all
then
the way
it like
till he's a dog, and he kills himself, and then she brings out her breast.
Oh, God.
and has
yeah, that was
Yeah.
just like, all right, we're
The
going
bloody
there
drink
the
now.
bloody
blood off
breast.
her breast.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Woo, they
okay.
were all in, those
so
actors.
fucking all in.
I
oh
have
my
to
goodness.
say that
Woo.
I read a review that said that at one point a wiener came out of a breast. I don't.
In the
I,
orgy?
I'm
No,
gonna
that's
have
not.
to
That's
rewatch
not.
it.
No, that
I don't remember that.
is
No, I feel like, I mean, not that I was like,
No,
I don't know,
that's not what
hyper focused, but I think that everything that happened in the orgy scene was believable.
Okay.
Like, there was people getting with other people that you wouldn't have pegged them getting together in real life, but that's what
Pegged.
happens in a
She said
drunk
pegged.
orgy.
That's,
Yeah,
know,
all the
okay.
drunk
hallucinogenic
orgies
I'll
I've
take your
been
word
to.
for that, young lady.
All
I'm
the
just
ones
saying.
I've been to. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
I'm usually
From what I
late.
recall.
I'm always
You
late.
know,
It's always
right.
over by the
Upper
time I get
Michigan.
there.
There's not
I'm
a
a-
lot to do.
I'm
you
just
know?
like, where do I go?
Oh,
I'm
Give me some
hilarious.
instructions.
I'm here
It's
for the
snowing
gangbang.
out.
Oh,
Let's have a drunken
Okay.
orgy.
Hey, come on.
clearly we have
All
to
right.
get this one.
All right. Until next time. Goodbye.
10-4
Oh,
over and out.
see you boys.
Later.
Woo!